All right. So with the information I shared earlier, you can see I got 2 month circle here because, like I said, on the lunar solar calendar, it will bleed oftentimes into a whole different month on the Gregorian calendar. So it's March and April, right? This is currently right now. We're going to approach the 19th of March, right? So that is the spring equinox is shown to be March 20th, right? It's going to be March 20th. Sometimes it's March 19th, I think, but it's March 20th this year, okay? 2026. And so the fourth and final Shabbat of the 12th biblical month this year in 2026 will be March 19th. That would be the 29th, right? Now, it says there's a 0.6% of illuminating light. Now, you know the moon grows, right? Now, the dark moon already is probably here. I'm not a dark moon observer. I cannot see that. So I do not consider a dark moon the new moon, right? So I don't think our ancestors in ancient times was observing dark moons. That's where I consider conjunctions and things like that to be. All right. So that's closing out the months. You're getting closer to seeing no moon, right? Because the moon is about to rise. It's about to birth, right? It's about to show her light. It's about to become new, right? It's old at a dark moon. It's an old moon. It's already weighing down. That's my understanding. Okay. Now, the new moon, it says it's going to be a 0.6%. Now, in order to see a new moon, you need at least 17 hours of 17 hours from conjunction. Remember that dark moon I told you about? You need at least 17 hours from conjunction, right? And then you need the moon to be at least 7 degrees above the horizon, right? Or have a altitude of at least 7 degrees to spot it, right? According to a journal by Royal Astronomical Society in 1993, you can check this out on, an article, all right, by Ahmad. It says that was done in basically the 9th month, the 14th day of 1871, y'all. So it says now it's likely to be seen pretty much 17 to 21 hours of age due to pollution and possibility impacts from the city life, right? So you could see a moon in that window, 17 to 21 hours of age, but no crescent moon sighting has been seen with bare eyes less than 15.4 hours of an old moon, all right? At least in published records, okay? So there's a minimum required. It must be a minimum of 17 hours from the conjunction and at least 7 degrees above the horizon, all right? At the time of sunset, okay? That's what you need at the time of sunset in order to see that new moon, y'all, okay? And generally you need to wait about 20 to 30 minutes after the sunset to see and spot the crescent new moon, which often looks like that. It's a little funny looking moon, but the crescent moon. And sometimes you'll see the outer layer, but it'll be boom, crescent moon, okay? You need about 17 hours of age on the moon and at least 7 degrees above the 7 degrees of altitude above the horizon, to spot it, usually, okay? Now, when it comes to this, the spring equinox being here, that will begin for me to be day one. Day one right here. That will be the first day of, if it is spotted here, that will be the first day of the new year, the 20th of March, right? That will be the first day of the new year. Now, if it's not spotted, then you know what's happening from what I shared earlier. There will be a 30-day month, right? And then, being that this is a spring equinox, all right, that night will be the new moon spotting, making the next day, the next dawn, which is a Sunday on a Gregorian calendar, making that the 21st of March. This will be day one of the month for me, okay? And that'll be new moon day. And the first day of the new biblical year. So there'll be new moon day and day one. But if it's spotted here, that will make the 20th new moon day and day one of the year. But, you know, you'll begin your starting count for work days here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, right? And then the 7th day will be here, okay? So it's projected to possibly be seen where I am this night, making it 29 days in this month. I always put, when I'm counting in my calendar, the projection of the days on the app, but I always try to go out and see visible eyewitnesses, right? I try to do that because the apps can be wrong. They're projections, like the weather app, they're projections. So I try to go out and visually see, but if it is accurate and it is right on, that would be day one for me, new moon day, and then you'll count day one of the month. That'll make this day 8 of the month, and also the 7-day Shabbat. And then that will make this day 15 of the month, which is April 3rd. If you notice that, this is the 15th day, which will be, we know from earlier videos, the first day of unleavened bread, the 15th day, which would make Passover the 2nd of April. Okay, that will make Passover right here. That's the 14th. We'll begin the feast this evening, April 2nd. Okay, on the 14th day. All right, so that will be April 2nd, and then April 3rd is the first day of unleavened bread, Holy Convocation, and you continue on, you know, and you go 7 more days. That's the 22nd, which we know is another Shabbat, Holy Convocation, in the 8th day of it says, let me see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, 7 days of you honoring unleavened bread, and that will be the 22nd day, which is high Sabbath, a high Sabbath considered. And then that will be April 10th. Okay, so this is projections, right? This is when you're calculating, you're kind of seeing, if you're planning out, if you're traveling, you're looking for the month ahead, and then you're going ahead and calculating. But again, one day shifts, it shifts this by 1 day, right? If this is not spotted on the 29th day of the Shabbat, then it's the 30th, right? Because the spring equinox is here, it's right here. So I don't have to intercalate. I don't have to add a 13th month. Now, if I'm apart, I need to understand I got to intercalate and wait for the spring equinox. Spring equinox is right on. It's right on time. So I consider it right there, and I keep counting. And then for the next year, 2027, I do it the same thing again. Waiting for the spring equinox, and I start counting. All right. That's pretty much the totality of how I track for the year. And, you know, after the 12th month, you already plan to kind of see what you want to do because it's coming up, and then you see your days and try to get them off. I would have highly advised that in advance. If you know right away in the month before what you're looking at, just go ahead and start planning it. And if you have to shift a day, you shift a day. But for the most part, this is why I don't advise as well doing calendars 3, 6, 9 months out, right? Like, it could be a little interesting when you're trying to understand, um, actually visualizing and going out there and seeing the new moon and knowing, when the day starts, and you have to make sure you plan accordingly because you don't know what day the moon is going to arrive on. Is it going to be 29 days or 30 days? You have to rely upon the Father, and when He reveals that sign. So, for the most part, I hope this video has been helpful. A lot of this, maybe new information to you. You may have to watch this over and over again. You may have to read. I really advise that reading a lot of scriptures. I didn't provide that many, but it is a good starting place. There's so much more you can add onto this, but I didn't want to overwhelm anybody. I hope I didn't. And if you have any questions, feel free to comment or email me if you know that and stuff like that. But I hope this was edifying and helpful. Yeah, if anything, continue, keep the feast, honor the Most High, all your heart, mind, and soul. And yeah, I'll honestly say it's not easy. I know a lot of people on Saturday Shabbats. I was there once. I used to be evening to evening as well. Friday evening to Saturday evening. I first was keeping the Sabbath. Then I went from Saturdays only, sunrise to sunset, and now I'm on lunar solar. It's not easy. I had to leave some jobs. I had to miss a lot of things, switch a lot of things around. But the main thing to remember about the lunar solar Shabbat is whatever day on a Gregorian calendar, you may need to use that a lot on your Apple calendar or your phone calendar app, marking when you sighted the new moon, right? And then when new moon day begins, and whatever day the new moon day is, it's the same for the next 4 weeks on the Gregorian calendar. So for in this example in context, if the new moon was spotted Friday of March 19th at evening after sundown, right? Then the next day would be new moon day, and that means the first Sabbath will be the 27th of March, and the second Sabbath will be the 3rd of April. The fourth Sabbath would be the 10th of April. And hold on, I think I confused myself for a second. New moon day would be the 20th of March. The first Sabbath would be the 27th of March. The second Sabbath would be the 3rd of April. There we go. 3 and 3 was kind of tripping me up. The second Sabbath would be the 3rd of April. The fourth Sabbath or Shabbat would be the 10th of April. The third Shabbat would be the 10th of April. And then the fourth Shabbat would be here, the 17th of April. I hope I didn't confuse you there. So let me run it down again. If the new moon is sighted by you or multiple witnesses, preferably 2 or 3, right? As scriptures say, a situation established by 2 or 3 witnesses. So the new moon is spotted on the 19th of March. That is a Friday, making new moon day the very next day. That's Saturday of March 20th. That means your first Shabbat will be the following week, Saturday the 27th. Next Saturday, April 3rd. Next Saturday, April 10th. Next Saturday, the 17th of April, the 29th. So there you get new moon day. I made a new abbreviation. I don't know if anybody ever abbreviated new moon day like that, but we go do it. New moon day, the 8th day, that's the first Shabbat. The 15th day, that's your second Shabbat. The 3rd day, that's your 22nd Shabbat. And your 4th day is the 29th Shabbat. So I hope that was helpful. Everyone out there. And y'all keeping the feast. With that being said, today is also a Shabbat. So I'm going to blow the shofar and then I'll conclude it from here. So praise Yah. Hallelujah. All praise to the Most High. So I hope that was edifying. May the Most High bless y'all. Stay brewed.